It is officially less than a month until Christmas, so if you are a procrastinator like me and want to sew some Christmas gifts, this video is for you because I'm going to share 35 easy sewing projects that you can make in an afternoon or less, and they all use a very small amount of fabric. And I've also tried to curate this list to be things that I would actually want to receive because I've seen a lot of gift ideas floating around online that I wouldn't actually want. So I've tried to be very intentional about this list. So without further ado, let's get into it. And if you're new here, my name is Candace and I make sewing patterns and sewing videos. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would love it if you subscribed and stuck around. Okay, so for this list, I've tried to group things into rough categories. So the first category is kind of like smaller bags and smaller accessories. And the first one is a Boxy makeup bag. And I feel like these are such a great gift. I use makeup bags all the time. I love using them for packing, for makeup, but also for other things like cords and just like small items. And they are very easy to make and take a pretty small amount of fabric. There are tons of tutorials and patterns online. I have a full step-by-step tutorial on how to sew them that includes dimensions and everything on my channel. But if you like paper templates and written instructions, it's also available as a PDF download on my website or my Etsy shop. But I think these are such a great gift and they're so quick to make. I actually timed myself making one last year because I had claimed that all the Christmas patterns I released, you could sew in under 30 minutes. And it is actually possible to sew it under 30 minutes. But yeah, you can get the pattern on its own, or it also comes in a pattern package of 10 Christmas patterns. And I released that package last year. And I have full sew-alongs for each project that are already up on my channel. And I'm going to mention some of these in this list as well. The next item is another bag and also another one of my patterns, and it is the layer cake bag. And I released this one earlier this year. And I think it's just a really fun take on a makeup bag. It has a ruffle on either side of the bag, and it's just very cute and a very fun bag to play with prints and patterns. I like to do contrasting fabric for the ruffle and the main part, but it is a really fun bag to sew. It takes a little bit longer to sew than a Boxy makeup pouch, but it's definitely doable in one afternoon. And that pattern comes with 2 sizes and also a purse option. So I think it's a really cute gift to give. And you can also embroider initials on the front of it to personalize it. And I think it's just so, so cute. The next item is a sunglasses or glasses case, and I made a bunch of these for my mom last year. She specifically asked me for glasses cases because she's always misplacing hers. So I made her a few of those last year, and I'm going to make a few more for different family and friends this year. But I think I'm going to switch up the pattern a little bit. I have kind of made a rough draft of one, but I'd like to do one with contrasting fabrics. So the main would be one fabric, and then I would do a contrast binding around it and add a little tie. And I think these are such a cute and also useful gift to give people. The next 2 items are book related, so they are for the readers in your life. And the first one is a bookmark. I've shared this project a couple times, once last year and once the year before. And it's also part of my Christmas patterns package, but they're these really cute corner bookmarks and you can embroider them. I like to embroider them with free motion embroidery and I use gold thread to put an initial on them, but you can also hand embroider them or like bead them, or you can just leave them plain. And they are so quick to sew up. They use a really tiny amount of fabric and they're just a very quick and easy project to make. And they're a really nice little extra thing to add if you're gifting someone a book for Christmas. And the next item is a book sleeve. And I made a couple of these last year. I made one for my mom and one for my sister. And they're also really fun and quick to sew up. I just went online and Googled the average dimensions of a novel and then made my own pattern. But it's just rectangles and I added binding to the top of mine. But I'll put a couple pictures here. But I ended up matching the fabric to the covers of the books, which I thought was really fun. And I'm actually going to be gifting a couple books again this year to family. So I'm going to make a couple more book sleeves. And I really like the idea of book sleeves because you can travel with your book and make sure it's safe and also beautiful while you travel. The last item in this little group is a jewelry organizer. And I've seen a bunch of different types and patterns online. I will link a few of them below. But I really like this style. It's like a circle with a drawstring that you can pull close so you can kind of put everything in the middle. And some of them also come with pockets, which is really nice so that your jewelry doesn't get all tangled up. But I've also seen some really nice foldable ones with zipper pockets and little hang tabs for necklaces or a spot for earrings and rings. And I think that is such a nice little gift. When I travel, I like to have a dedicated pouch for my jewelry, and it's even nicer when there are lots of pockets and organizational things within it. And I think this would make such a sweet little gift. Okay, so the next group of gifts are bags and purses. And the first pattern is the Billy Bag by Oh Charlotte Rose. And she's another creator in Toronto, and she released this pattern last year, I believe, but it's a really beautiful, just classic handbag style. I really love this striped fabric that she made it in, but this would be such a sweet gift to give a friend or a family member, and you can really personalize it to their style. And I think this is just a very cute and practical bag pattern. The next one is the Bestie Bag by BF Patterns, and if you follow me on Instagram or I guess anywhere, I've posted about this bag a couple times, but I have made 5 of these bags this year. I only kept 2 of them, but 3 of them were gifts, and it is a really fun and relatively quick sew. I ended up quilting all of mine because I really like the structure and how it looks, and they're such a nice size for a purse. I made them medium sized, and it fits my wallet and sunglasses and keys and has room for extra things, but it's not so big that it's annoying or heavy. And I made the tie strap version so I can adjust the length of the strap so I can wear it on my shoulder or crossbody. And I just think it is such a great pattern and makes such a great gift. The next bag is my free bow tote pattern, and I feel like I haven't really talked about this pattern for quite some time, but it is a super beginner friendly tote pattern, and it has a big bow that you can add to the front, or you can just leave it plain and have it as a regular tote, but it has a tie strap, and the pattern is available on my website if you subscribe to my newsletter. But yeah, it's just a great little tote. I've seen some really cute versions online. I think it's perfect for Christmas time. You could make it in like a bright red or a fun gingham or something like that. I've actually been thinking of making a bag with this pre-quilted fabric I have that I made this quilt jacket in, and that would be super cute. Okay, the last item in this group, which I feel like maybe should have been in the last group, is a laptop sleeve, or alternatively a Kindle sleeve. And I also have a YouTube tutorial on how to draft and sew this up on my channel. But I think this makes a really nice gift, and it's super useful. You can also get really creative with some fun fabric. And yeah, I use mine all the time because I'm always bringing my laptop from place to place. And it's nice to have a soft sleeve that I can put it into that will keep it safe when I'm traveling. The next group of items is wearable accessories. So the first pattern is the Jude beanie pattern, which is a pattern that I released with Lindsay under Stay Stitch Pattern Co. We released that one, I feel like 4 or 5 years ago. It is just a classic toque or beanie pattern if you're in the States, and it can be sewn up really fast in under 30 minutes for sure. And it's great for all types of knits. I've made it in French terry or sweatshirt fabric or sweater knits, and it's a really great gift. And I feel like especially for parents, because I feel like my kids lose at least 5 hats every season. So it's nice to have some extras around. And this pattern is really great because it comes in toddler to adult sizes. So you can make one for all the members of your family. The next item is mittens, and specifically felted wool mittens. And I found a free pattern on Hello Sewing, I believe, that I want to try out. But mittens are also an item that my kids lose constantly, so I want to make them some extra pairs. And this pattern is for felted wool. So if you have a sweater that is wool that you accidentally felted by putting it in the washer and dryer, this pattern is perfect for those. So I'm actually thinking of going to the thrift store to find sweaters to make these mittens out of. And apparently, if you get a sweater that is at least 80% wool, you can felt it in the washer and dryer. So yeah, I'm definitely making some for my kids and probably some for friends as well. And the last item in this group is scrunchies. And scrunchies are so easy to make and also really useful. My sister uses them a lot. A lot of my friends like scrunchies. So I'm definitely gonna make some of these this year. This is another pattern that is included in my Christmas patterns, and it comes with a regular size and a jumbo size. And last year I ended up making some really nice ones in satin and organza and embroidered mesh, and they turned out really, really nice. And I think they make such a nice addition to another gift. The next group of gifts is for the bakers or the cooks in your life. And the first one is bowl covers. And this is also one of my Christmas patterns in that package that I mentioned. And these are super great to give to your friends that bake bread. I made a couple for myself last year, and I use them every time I make bread. Before that, I was using plastic bags and stuff like that to cover my bread. So I'm so happy to have some 100% cotton covers to use now. So if you have friends that make sourdough, definitely make them a few of these. They will really appreciate them. And because this is one of the Christmas patterns, there is a full step-by-step video tutorial up on my channel already. The next item is a pie carrier, and this is a gift that I want specifically because I am the one that always brings pies to holiday gatherings, and I don't have anything to carry them in. So I promised myself I'm going to make myself 1 or 2 this year. And I think that this is such a great pattern to have some fun with quilting. I don't know how to quilt still, but it's on my list of things to do. And it would be so nice to do like a big quilt block and use that on the inside or the outside of the carrier. And it works especially well because it is a square. And kind of similar to a pie carrier, the next item is a casserole dish holder. I saw a really cute one on Instagram the other day. It was on the Fableism page, I think. I'm not sure who the designer was, but I will tag it below. But it was a really interesting design. It had Velcro to close it. It had a little slot for a spoon, and then the handles had little dowels in them. So it's really like sturdy to carry your casserole in. And I definitely want to make one this year, but I know that my mom would love these, or anyone that cooks in your family. I think it's a great gift. The next one is bowl cozies, and I had never used these prior to last year, but I made a bunch for my dad, and they're so useful, especially if you have kids and use the microwave. You can actually put them right in the microwave, and it makes it so much easier to get the bowl out. And if you're like sitting on the couch eating something, it's really nice not to have a super hot bowl in your hands. So these are really nice and useful gifts, and they're also really fast to sew. But there are a lot of free tutorials and patterns online for bowl cozies, and I will link a couple of them below. The next one is pot holders and or oven mitts. And pot holders are another pattern that's in my 10 Christmas patterns, but these are really, again, useful and cute. I did some in striped linen last year, and they were so beautiful. I did matching pot holders and oven mitts, and they turned out so pretty and nice. And so I think pairing them with a cookbook or a really nice pan or cutting board would be such a sweet gift. The next item is coasters, and I've seen so many of these really adorable kind of anthro-esque coasters on Pinterest, and I especially love these ones with the little ruffle around the edge. And I'm definitely going to make some of these because I'm always leaving drink rings on my desk, and my mom is a big stickler about using coasters, so I'm going to make her some. And I really like how these ones have contrasting fabric for the mane and the ruffle, but I also think it would be really pretty if you just used one cute print like gingham or a floral. So I'm definitely going to make a set of those for myself and my mom. And the next item is aprons. And I feel like aprons are one of those things that everybody sews when they start sewing because they are very simple to make. There are a lot of free patterns out there. I don't use aprons personally, but my mom and my mother-in-law always use aprons, especially when they're cooking like a big holiday dinner. So I know that they would appreciate a very cute apron in a nice fabric. So I think that if there's a person like that in your life that you know uses aprons, this is a great gift. And I really like the idea of having like a specific holiday apron that you pull out every year and you keep for years and years. So making it in a beautiful fabric and maybe adding some embroidery would be so special. The next items are kind of in a self-care group. And the first one is gauze makeup remover pads. So I make these out of double gauze offcuts that I have from making baby clothes, and usually I buy organic cotton for these, so that makes them great for using them to wipe off makeup. But basically all I do is cut circles out and I serge around the edges, or you can sew them and flip them inside out and top stitch. But these are really great, and I use these every day now. I used to use disposable cotton pads, but I really disliked how wasteful they were, so I really like having a reusable option. The only thing that I'll say is make sure to use a mesh bag when you wash them because they're very small and they will disappear into your washing machine and probably clog up a pipe somewhere. So if you gift these to someone, just make sure to let them know this. But they make a really great gift. And I ended up gifting them with a container and a nice little face oil, or you could do a cleanser or micellar water or something like that, and it would make such a cute little gift. The next item is an eye pillow, and I had never really used these until someone gave me one, but they're basically just little pillows that you can put rice and maybe like an essential oil in that you heat up, and then you can place it on your eyes when you have a headache or something like that. And I saw some really adorable ones on Pinterest. I really like these fish ones, and I think I also saw some cat ones on there. But I think that they're so cute and so fun, and also a nice little item to give to someone to pamper themselves a little bit. And the last item, I don't really know if it fits in this category, but it is cord keepers. And I really like these for traveling. Whenever I'm traveling, I have so many cords with me. I have my phone charger, my headphone cable, my computer charger, and there's just cables everywhere. So having these little cord keepers helps keep everything organized, and they're really, really quick to make and take a very small amount of fabric. The only extra thing you need is snaps, but these make a really nice practical gift. All right, so the next section is baby items. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of babies in my life right now. A lot of my friends have babies. My sister and sister-in-law had babies this year. So I'm always looking for baby sewing patterns. And my favorite baby pattern from this year is the Billy Overalls by The Ordinary Folk. And this is the cutest baby overalls pattern that I have seen. It's got balloon legs and these really big front pockets and a little patch pocket on the front as well with buttons at the shoulders. And it is adorable. I made one for my niece in denim for her first birthday, and it is the cutest thing ever. And it would look good in so many fabrics. I think it would be really cute in linen or cotton gauze, or I've seen some really cute ones in corduroy. And it's also a great pattern to add embroidery to. I'm planning on making another pair for my niece with like patches on the knees. A creator that I really like on Instagram made the cutest pair with tomatoes on the knees, I think, or maybe they were apples. But it's such a cute pattern and the instructions are great, and I highly recommend this one. The next pattern is the Clover pants by Tiny Folk Patterns, and this is just a very classic, slightly tapered elastic waist pant, and it's just a really great pattern because it is really quick to sew up. I believe there's very minimal pattern pieces because the waistband is grown on, but this is a really fun and quick sew. It's also a great one for upcycling. I made a bunch of these pants for my nephew out of thrifted men's shirts, and I do have a video on that, which I can link up here, and they just turned out really, really cute. And the next item is a dress. So I've used a few dress patterns, and I will link some free ones below. But I really like making baby girl dresses. They always have cute little details and they're fun to sew and also very quick to sew because the pieces are very, very small. So I will link my favorite ones below. I've made the ruffle pinafore by Oh Me Oh My Sewing a bunch of times, and I also found some other cute free ones. The next pattern is the Brindle and Twig Ringer Tee, and this is a free pattern, and I've made this one a few times. I used to make my son this pattern and the True Bias Hudson sweatpants for his birthday every year, and it's a great one and really quick to sew up, and it's meant for knit fabrics, so it's nice and comfy, and it comes in quite a few sizes if I remember correctly, but I've made this in all types of sweatshirt fleeces, and it makes a really cute little gift. You could also add a little embroidery and add their initial or something on it, but it makes a really cute gift for the little people in your life. And the last baby item is baby bows. I really love these because they take such a small amount of fabric, like literally like this much fabric, and you can make them in so many colors and different types of prints. And my sister loved them. I have a niece and she would put bows on her all the time when she was a little bit smaller. And they're perfect for the holidays too, when you're dressing up and taking nice photos and stuff like that. The next group of items is all holiday decor items. And the first one is a bow bunting. And this one I think is so good because it is a great scrap buster and one that I want to do because I have so many scraps. But basically you just sew a bunch of bows and then sew the bows together. And I'll put a couple pictures up here, but I think it looks so nice and so festive. I think you could also do this and wrap it around a tree. That would be really pretty. But I'm definitely making one of these this holiday season. And the next item is stockings. And I have been meaning to make new stockings for our family because the ones that we have are store-bought, and I feel ashamed as a sewist to not have handmade stockings. So I really want to make some, and I would love for them to just be heirloom pieces. And I'm not going to have any more kids now, so I can safely make the 4 stockings and don't have to worry about matching fabric in the future. There are a lot of free patterns out there, or you can take an existing stocking and just trace around it and sew it together. But I especially love these ones that are done in like the striped sort of ticking fabric and a big bow on the side. Or I also love these anthro ones with the stripes and the ruffles. They're so much fun. I've also seen some really beautiful quilted ones. Again, a project for me when I have delved into the world of quilting, and I think that they would make such a beautiful gift. The next one is a tree skirt, and this is also something that's on my list of things to make because my tree skirt currently is a scrap piece of faux fur that we just haphazardly lay on the bottom of our tree every year. So I do want to make a proper tree skirt eventually, and I really like these ones that have the 3 bows to close it and then the big ruffle around the outside. I've also seen some really pretty sort of quilted ones. I think this one's called the Giant Dresden Tree Skirt. And there are a bunch of other ones that I've seen on Pinterest that are really beautiful. So I'm definitely going to narrow down the options and make one. Probably not this year, but maybe next year. And I think it's another really beautiful heirloom piece to have that you can bring out every holiday season. And the last decor item is felt ornaments. And this is also another pattern that's included in my 10 Christmas patterns, but felt ornaments are so fun to make. And I've seen so many good ones on Pinterest. I've pinned probably 50 felt ornaments on my Pinterest page, but they're so much fun and you can really do anything you want. There's a creator that I follow on TikTok that made all of these fun makeup ones. So she made like a Glossier lip gloss one, or I saw another one recently that was a blobfish. You can do anything, literally anything that you want. And I think it's such a great opportunity to make a personalized ornament for someone. So for my kids, I think I'm going to make them a pickle and a pretzel because one loves pickles and one loves pretzels. And I think food items are really great for felt ornaments. In my Christmas package, I have a bunch of cookie cutouts and a donut and I believe an ornament. There's a bunch of different templates in there. So if you're interested, that's going to be linked below. I haven't really mentioned any garment sewing patterns yet. So I'm only going to mention one, and that is my pattern, which is the sourdough pants and shorts pattern. And if you want to make pajama pants or shorts for anyone in your family, this is a great pattern to do that with. There are a bunch of different options for waistband finishings in the pattern, but it makes a really great pair of boxers. I'll put a picture of the ones I made here, or you could keep the ties or the drawstring, and it is a really perfect pajama pattern. And if you don't really know the size of the person you're gifting them to, the drawstring option is really great because you don't have to know their waist measurement and they can just tie the ties however tight that they want. All right, so we are down to the last group of items, and these are gifts for the sewists in your life. And the first one is a needle book. And I just think this is the sweetest gift to make. And I made one for my sister-in-law last year. And I patchworked the front of the cover using fabrics from dresses that I made. And it came out really beautifully. Inside, I used coating scraps from other projects and felt, and I also put a little piece of lace in there to put safety pins on. But this is another one where you can kind of personalize it and add special embroidery details, and it makes such a beautiful gift for a sewist or someone who does cross stitch or needlepoint. And this is another one of the patterns in my Christmas patterns. So if you're interested in getting the pattern for that, it is linked below. The last two are a tailor's ham and a tailor's sausage. So I think this would make such a great gift for a friend. I actually made one of these for my friend Lindsay years ago. I just sewed up the cover for it and left a hole in it and mailed it to her, and she filled it with her own scraps. I made my own ham back then, and I filled it with fabric scraps. I think another popular option is stuffing it with sawdust, and I think that might be a slightly better option, but it works just as well with fabric scraps. And I use mine constantly. I always use it to press darts, or if I'm making anything with a cup in it. It is super handy and I love having it. So that is the first one, and I will link a free pattern below. I used this one years ago. It's a good one. And the other one is a tailor's sausage. So this one would be used for sleeves. So you can like insert it inside the sleeve and then press all the seams. And again, this would be super useful. I actually don't have one of these, so I would like to make one this year. But you can use any fabric that is 100% natural. So I believe I used a cotton canvas, which was actually, I think, a drop cloth. It worked out really well for the project, and it's super cheap to get drop cloths, and it's held up really well over the years. Okay, well, that concludes the list of gifts that you can sew if you are a procrastinator. I will link all of the resources and patterns that I mentioned below. And if you're interested in getting my Christmas patterns package, I will also link it below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a happy holiday season. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.